Hello and welcome to yet another video, and in this video it's going to be a bit different video because I'll be talking about my Fuji cameras, which is something I haven't really talked about that much. I have used my Fuji cameras for both street photography, travel photography, vlogs, things like that. But lately, at least for the past month or so, I've been trying to vlog more with my X-T20 system because my other X-T cameras is really good for travel photography, travel, street photography, things like that. And my X-T20 has been always sitting on the shelf doing nothing. So for the past month, or at least the past few months rather, I've been trying to vlog more with my X-T20 and use my X-T20 more for video because it has somewhat nice 4K video recording in this camera, and despite not so good autofocusing system, once it's locked on it's pretty nice, but it can betray you quite often, that's what I can tell you. But the other big limitation that is really big for me when I'm sitting in front of the camera like this, because I don't see the display behind the camera and I can't be bothered to connect another monitor to it, is the time limit. The time limit, you know, sometimes I don't keep track of how long I actually talk because I often make mistakes while recording, and sometimes when it past that 10 minutes recording limit, it's kind of annoying to not know that. And just the past 4 weeks, I actually figured a way that worked for me to get around it. When I'm vlogging, it's not really much of an issue because I don't vlog for 10 minutes straight, like holding the camera for 10 minutes straight like that. But when I'm sitting in front of the camera like this, or when I'm using this camera to shoot an overview recording of another YouTube video in my room or in the studio or what have you, it can be annoying to always have that 10-minute limit. And anyway, before I talk too much, let me just get to the way I overcome that, which is to use my Wi-Fi feature. The camera has the Wi-Fi feature. Of course, I can drain the battery, but it doesn't drain the battery that much. And if you always use, you know, almost full or at least more than 50% full battery charged, I think that will just get you through, like, you know, the day. But obviously that depends on how harsh you use the camera and also under which temperature you use the camera. And yeah, with the Wi-Fi feature, for example, what I'm connected to this iPhone right now I have around 279 minutes and 51 seconds to go until the card inside the camera fills up with this 4K video. And of course, just to prove to you, let me just start this camera and then manual focus, and here we go. This is the X-T20 and this is the lens I use, this 16mm f1.4, the main lens I always use for vlogging with this camera and for my YouTube videos. Because of that f1.4 specifically is why I'm now using this camera to vlog and to do other YouTube videos. Yeah, that's about it. And with the app, when you're recording video, you still can change your ISO, your aperture. That depends on your lens. This lens has a mechanical aperture, so I cannot really control it with the app. But let's say if you're using a kit lens, you can. At least with this version of firmware and this version of what I'm using right now, they can change it in the future. You can change your white balance, your exposure compensation. Now it's good to mention that when I'm using this screen, the screen behind the camera actually switches off to preserve battery power, I think. And at least it's not working. And also you cannot change your exposure compensation on the camera anymore. Your exposure compensation can only be changed within the remote app after you change to the Wi-Fi function. So that's something that I actually had to get used to right before making this video, actually, because I only just figured that out because I don't really use a lot of that when I vlog, but yeah. And you can change your compensation, your aperture, your ISO, but strangely you cannot change your shutter speed, at least with this version of the firmware and with this camera. So that's something I find a little bit weird, but that's the way it is. And yeah, I would like to just end it here. That's actually the sound of a cruise ship outside leaving the dock, actually. I live very close to the port of Rotterdam. But yeah, that's it. If you need a free photography guidebook, it's for free on my website without any charge, and you don't need to commit by entering any emails nonsense, so it's completely free if you're an absolute beginner. I am right now trying to write a free photography guidebook for portraits photography, so yeah, it should be released in the near future, so keep an eye for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching and have fun shooting. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Otherwise, as usual, see you in the next video. Bye.